Hey guys, welcome back to the Shire. My name is Rebecca and I am a stay-at-home mom and an online reseller. I sell on several different platforms, which you will find out today because today is a What Sold video. In this video, I'm going to talk about my sales from January of 2022. It's the first month of the new year and we're going to see how I did. This video is going to be a little bit longer. I'm going to try to not be as chatty so we can keep it shorter. But it's going to be a little bit longer because it's going to be the whole month instead of breaking it into weeks. So go ahead and grab yourself a drink or a snack and let's get into it. So my goal for January was to sell 31 items because there were 31 days. And I did meet that goal. I actually had 32 sales. I know they typically say to not make a goal of how many items you're selling, make a listing goal. And really my goal right now is just to get through my death pile, which is being shown in my other videos that you can check out on my channel. But I just like to have a fun goal of, it'd be fun to sell one item for each day that there is. It doesn't mean every single day that I make a sale. It just means overall I'd like to make 31 sales because there were 31 days. So of those 32 sales, 16 were on eBay, 7 were on Facebook Marketplace, 4 were on Poshmark, 3 were on Mercari, 1 was on Kidizen, 1 was a direct sale, and there were 0 sales on Curtsy. Also, I am looking down because my computer is right here, so it has all my information. There's no way I'm going to remember this without looking at it. So when you see me looking down, that's why. My total gross sales from the month was $746.47. My fees and shipping was $210.60. And I don't do free shipping unless it's on Kidizen because that's kind of how the platform typically works. So most of the shipping is paid for by the buyers. My total cost of goods for the items sold were $47.42. And my net profit before taxes was $488.46. The first item to sell was on January 3rd. I sold this new in package Spring Fresh Perfume Dusting Powder in Tranquil Breeze. It was sealed and it didn't expire till the end of 2022. I sold this on eBay for $15. That was a full price sale. And I had paid 24 cents for it at a yard sale. So that was definitely an average of cost of goods for a big yard sale I went to and just bought a lot of little things. My net profit on this item was $13.01. And it took 41 days to sell. My next sale was also on January 3rd, and it was this Abercrombie Kids Pocket Long Sleeve t-shirt, green navy gray, size 15-16. I couldn't tell if this was a boys or girls shirt, and I picked it up at a thrift store for $1. And it wasn't like in a specific section, it was just their color of the week, so they had moved it to a regular colored rack. And I put that in the description. I mean, it could have been either. This sold on Kidizen, and Kidizen is really hard to make sales on lately, so it was nice to make one sale on Kidizen. And the buyer paid $13.50 free shipping. That's the only site I do free shipping on. And the net profit on that was $6.73, and it took 40 days to sell. This was actually an item from my death pile because it had like a little mark on it, so it was like a little stain. I tried to get it out, couldn't get it out. So at that point, I'm just happy to get rid of it at almost any price, as long as I'm not in the negatives. I just want to move flawed items. My next sale wasn't online, it was actually a direct sale, and it actually went to my husband. It was this like rugged Bluetooth speaker that would also be like a portable battery, and you could charge like your phone or whatever off of. It was by the brand Survivor. I found it at a yard sale for $5, and when he saw that I was testing it, he wanted it, so he paid me $10, so I still made a $5 profit on it. On January 5th, I had 2 sales. My first one was this Tom's Genuine Leather Black and Brown 42mm Apple Watch Band. And this sold on Mercari. I had found this at a yard sale, picked it up for an average cost of goods of $1.16. And my net profit on that was $8.99. It sold for $12 plus shipping, which was an offer someone had made me. It took 24 days to sell. The second item to sell on the 5th were these Litter Maid cat waste receptacles, new 11 count, compatible with all Litter Maid. These were just, they go for like the automatic cat boxes, the litter boxes, like where it automatically scoops it out for you. It was something from my parents. They used to have a litter box like that and they don't anymore. So these were just extras they had left over. These ones actually weren't in a box. I had sold another one that was sealed still a while ago. But these sold on eBay for $10 and I had no cost of goods into them, so my net profit was $9.30. These took 181 days to sell, so yeah, it took half a year to sell. We then had a bit of a dry spell and didn't sell anything for 4 days. So the next sale was on January 9th. It was this We the Free brown traveler zip around wallet crossbody bag, 100% sheep leather. This sold on an offer on Mercari for $40 plus shipping. I'd originally listed it at $50, anticipating to get it right around $40. I had picked this up at a yard sale for $2.60 average cost of goods. And this was the same yard sale where I'd picked up a bunch of those Birkenstock. They were like Batula or Berkeys, different sandals and clogs. You might have seen some of my other videos. So the funny thing with this is when I picked it up, it definitely looked distressed, and it's sheep leather. So it's really, really soft leather, and I thought that it was meant to look distressed. But after looking at other solds and looking at all the comps, I don't think it was. I think it was naturally distressed, which is fine. I just put that it was distressed and showed photos. It wasn't really flawed. There weren't like holes or anything. It was just really nicely worn, and honestly, I think it looked better distressed. My net profit on that sale was $31.94, which is very good for me, and it sold in 11 days, which is excellent. The next two sales were on January 10th. The first one was, if you watch Lori Tata, and I'll link her channel or put her channel right here, but if you watch her and she has a piece that's been sitting for a long time that finally sells, she always calls it a By Felicia piece. This was definitely a By Felicia piece. I had paid $5 for these Vince Camuto women's black VP Vicky classic black heels, size 7B pointed toe. They sold for $20, which was an offer. They eventually came down to $25, and then someone offered me $20 on eBay. I have been sitting on these forever. When I picked them up, I mean, I thought Vince Camuto was a decent brand, and now 2 years into it, I know that there's some things that are good, some things aren't as good. But these are just a very classic black shoe, and I thought that would be a really good staple piece for someone's wardrobe. I don't know if it had to do with the size or what the issue was, but they were in excellent condition. But they took 665 days to sell, which is ridiculous. I originally listed these on March 16th of 2020. And keep in mind, I started reselling in January, so this was like 2 months in, probably not even a full 2 months in to my reselling journey is when I picked these up. But they did eventually sell, thank goodness. My net profit was only $11.75, and I was more than happy just to get rid of them. And I don't think I would probably pick them up in the future, given that they sat for so long and really didn't sell for much. The second sale from January 10th was on eBay as well. This was a new The Fifth Element Reaction Figures Corbin Dallas collectible action figure. I have no idea what that means. I don't know. I mean, it appears to be sci-fi. I know nothing about sci-fi type stuff or anything with any kind of action figures. No idea who Corbin Dallas is. I don't know. I just scanned it because it looked really nice and new. It was from a yard sale. The same yard sale I got that We the Free purse at. They had a couple of these things that seemed kind of like collectible, and this one, even like the little hole that, you know, if you were at a store would hang on a hook, that part wasn't even punched, and apparently that means something to collectors. So it wasn't like a crazy, like, you know, hundreds or $1,000 collectible item, but I only paid $2.60 for it, and it sold for $22 plus shipping on eBay. My net profit was $16.54, and it took 52 days to sell. And this is one of those items that is, even though it was super light and I could have thrown it in like a padded flat rate, like it obviously was more of a collector's piece. Like I don't think someone's gonna just open it and play with this thing. So I like bubble wrapped it and floated it in a cardboard box. I mean, it was really lightweight, so I definitely had, you know, the wiggle room weight wise to do that. But something like that, you really just want to make sure it gets to the buyer in good condition. My next sale was on January 11th, and it was this new Karen Disney Winnie the Pooh Tigger Latch hook kit, size 13 by 13. I picked this up for $3 at a church thrift store, and unfortunately this thrift store writes directly on a lot of their items with a red permanent marker. So I had to just do a big old Sharpie black box and color it in to kind of cover that up. But, you know, it was just the packaging. It wasn't like the actual item, the actual like yarn and everything. So I don't think the person really cared. But this sold full price for $18 on Facebook Marketplace. My net profit was $13.74 and it sold in one day. I actually picked up 2 of these. The other one is a Winnie the Pooh character and that one's still sitting. So I can't say pick up all of them, but this one sold really fast. On January 13th, I sold this maple brown leather crossbody double zipper bag purse on Facebook Marketplace. This item actually, like the brand name was actually Maple Leather Company, and it was made somewhere here in the US. I think it was like Maine. I had picked this up for $2 at a local thrift store because I figured it was nice leather, like it felt really nice, it was in great condition. And I thought it was like a really nice like festival style purse. I don't know if it didn't sell because with everything going on there weren't really festivals or what the deal was, or maybe it's just because it wasn't a well-known brand, but I thought it was really cool. I mean, I would have kept it if it were bigger, but I got all kinds of stuff I got to carry around. So this one actually took longer than that By Felicia piece from earlier. This one was listed on February 19th, and I'm pretty sure my first sales were like the end of January of 2020. So this one has been around a long time. It sold for $18 plus shipping and my net profit was $14.81. So the days to sell, it took 694 days. We're just about halfway through the month, so I believe my cat felt that we needed a mini break. Say hi, Santa. Hi, YouTube. Okay, cat break over. We are back on January 14th. This is a Star Wars tank top that sold for $10 on a closet clear out on Poshmark. I had $1.96 into this. I'm pretty sure I got it at a yard sale for 50 cents, but average cost of goods, it was $1.96 into it. This is one of those items that I would definitely not pick up right now. But back then it was kind of like, everyone loves Star Wars, someone will want a Star Wars shirt, right? Well, someone did, but it took 547 days to find that person, so I will not be doing that again. Hopefully. I shouldn't be doing that again. My net profit on that was $5.09. And I just wanted to touch real quick on closet clear out. If you're not familiar with Becky Park on Poshmark, I'll put her channel here. But if you're not familiar with her, check out her closet clear out videos and her method to how she does closet clear out. I use her method of messaging the person instead of just lowering prices. And when I told this person I could lower it to $10 and they could get discounted shipping, they were actually like, oh, thanks for the offer, but you know, I'm pretty sure it has to be $12. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure it's $10. So they were more than welcome, or they were more than happy to take the $10 and get that discounted shipping on it. So just make sure you're really communicating with your buyers and that everybody understands how the platform actually works. The next sale was on January 15th, and it was this Lucky Brand men's navy white mammoth plaid western shirt, size large, pearl snap. I picked this up at a yard sale, $1.36 into it. It sold on eBay for $16 plus shipping. That was way lower than I was anticipating. I mean, not way lower, but I thought it would sell in the $20 to $25 range. I originally listed it at $30. And it's another one of those pieces where I just don't understand why no one wanted it. It seems like Western style shirts and pearl snaps is something that was really trendy. And it was a size large, so it wasn't like a size small, which can be hard to move. So I'm not really sure what happened there. My net profit on that item was $12.67, and that one took 468 days to sell. And I'd like to say I wouldn't pick up Lucky Brand men's shirts again, but I might still do it. I don't know. It's probably not the greatest business practice, but I don't know. I'd have to run comps again and see. And I do promise that the days to sell is going to get shorter. Not everything took well over a year to sell, so we're getting there. The next item to sell sold on January 16th, and this was actually an auctioned item. It was this vintage colorful rainbow shell necklace and clip-on earring set. If you've heard in my other videos, my parents are cleaning out a lot of my grandparents' items, and this was something that was my grandmother's. Not that we ever saw her wear it, she might have even gotten it from someone else. But I put it on auction because I had no idea what something like this might be, you know, be worth. It didn't have any brand names or anything on it. So I put it on auction for $1.99. We got one bid for $1.99, and I ended up making $2.08 on that, just due to the difference in shipping costs. So since that was an auction, it took 10 days to sell because I always do 10-day auctions instead of 7 days. At this point in January, we had another 4-day hiatus of no sales, and then I got this sale of more vintage jewelry. That was my grandmother's. Once again, I know nothing about jewelry, especially not vintage jewelry, and didn't have any kind of branding or anything to look it up. But this was a lot of 3 vintage clip-on earrings, dangly earrings, red button, silver knot, is how I described it. So I actually had these on auction on eBay, and nobody bought them. I did the same thing, started at $1.99, and there was no interest. So once that auction ended after 10 days, I just listed it as like a regular listing, and I listed it for $5. Someone on Facebook Marketplace bought them. I made $4.52. And those took 14 days to sell, so that was probably the 10 days of auction and then 4 additional days of just being listed as a regular listing. Our next item sold on January 21st. This is another long haul item. It was a pair of J brand bombshell bootcut jeans in a size 29. I picked these up for $2.50 at a local thrift store, and they sat forever. I was finally able to sell them on Poshmark for $17. And my net profit was $11.10. They took 594 days to sell. J brand is one of those brands that, you know, I just got a bug in my ear and heard about on YouTube, and I'm sure I ran the comps and they looked pretty decent, so I grabbed them. I'm not sure why these took so long to sell, but I think one of the issues was, aside from people saying that I guess J brand doesn't move as fast for them now, these were actually hemmed on the bottom. Like, they were hemmed well, and I didn't even think to look at that in the thrift store, so I didn't know till I got home. My thrift store doesn't allow returns. And they weren't like damaged or anything. They were in great condition otherwise, but they had been hemmed in the length, so I think that probably hurt my ability to sell them. On January 22nd, I had 2 sales. The first one was this Fisher-Price 10th anniversary Tickle Me Elmo toy, and it did work. I picked this up at a yard sale. My cost of goods was $2.75. I had several people like ask me if I could put videos up of it working and everything, which I don't do that. It takes extra time, and I mean, if it doesn't work, they are granted a refund because I said that it does work. And I tested it and everything, took the batteries out before shipping. Make sure you don't ship it with the batteries in case something would happen. So this actually sold on Poshmark, which surprised me. I thought it would have sold on like eBay, or maybe even like Mercari or Facebook, but it sold on Poshmark for $45. That was, I originally had listed it at $50, dropped it down to $45 at some point. And that was a full price sale. Someone bought it for $45, and it took 162 days to sell. My net profit on that was $33.25. My second sale on that day was the Zero Exposure Boys, Kids, Toddler, Red Black Adjustable Bib Overall Snow Pants size 3T. I sold these on eBay for $10 plus shipping. I had $1.16 into them. And this was an item from my death pile. So when I listed it, I knew I did not want to hold on to these till next winter. I listed them at, I think, $15. Someone offered me $10, and I definitely took it because it's snow pants. This is the season. It's something you just want to move. And they were Zero Exposure, so they weren't like, you know, like a really high-end brand. They weren't like North Face snow bibs or something. My net profit on this item was $9.87, and it only took 4 days to sell. I just wanted to mention that I know my net profit seems maybe a little bit high on some of these items, but that does account for if like shipping is lower than what the buyer was charged. I don't typically refund that because it all kind of works out in the end, especially when they send an offer. You know, if you're going to send me a lower price, then I feel like if I keep, you know, a couple cents, maybe even up to $1, it's usually not that much, it's usually a couple cents. I don't think that's that big of a deal, and there's definitely times when I've had to pay more than what they've paid in shipping, just due to the weight or size or location of the buyer. So that might be why there's some like discrepancy as to, you know, if it sold for $10, I made $9.87. There was more than 13 cents in fees. It's just the way everything worked out. The next sale day was January 23rd, and I actually had 4 sales on this day. The first one was on eBay. It was this DeWalt 7.2 volt to 18 volt NICD battery charger, battery packed with a charger. I don't know. I don't know anything about tools and all that, but these were my husband's. He said the drill broke and he was just going to sell the batteries and the charger. So we ended up selling them for $40 plus shipping, and these were really heavy. I packaged them pretty well, but they were pretty heavy to ship out. Since it was something we owned, I didn't have any cost of goods into them. My net profit was $35 and a penny, and they took 10 days to sell. And I did just send that money on over to my husband, and we put it down on our mortgage. The second item to sell that day was a pink Victoria's Secret black and white plush logo robe in a size extra small. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen where I posted that this sold so fast. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should go check me out. I'm TheCozyShire on Instagram and everywhere else on the intranet. I had $1 into this robe from a yard sale, and it was in my death pile. So I listed it for $25, and literally within less than 5 minutes, someone made me an offer for $20 on that robe on Poshmark. And there was a lot of likes on it, like right away on a lot of different platforms. So I did kind of hold out for a little bit before I accepted that offer, just to see if someone would just buy it outright. But after several hours, no one did, so I took her offer. And my net profit on that item was $15, and it took 0 days to sell, which is amazing. The third sale that day was another eBay sale. This was a book called True Australian Story, Paramedic, One Woman's 20 Years on the Front Line book. So this book sold for $10, which was an offer, so it was $10 plus shipping. My net profit was $7.55 because I had no cost of goods into it. This was a book that was gifted to me, and I read it, and I don't reread books, so I sold it. I didn't know what to list it for because, as it says, True Australian Story, it was written by an Australian, and the only books that I could find, I don't think I could find any sold comps, but the only ones listed were in Australia. So, you know, I didn't think it was anything crazy, so I just listed it at $15, and when they sent me the $10 offer, I took it, and that took 49 days to sell. I feel like books can be really hard. If you check out Mel from Back from Burnout, she's a really good bookseller, and she's actually in Australia, but she kind of gives you better tips on which books to pick up. Like I said, this was just already in my house, so that's why I listed it. My final sale that day was a Mercari sale. It was this New with Tags Kelly Toy 2011 10.5 inch classic Baby Betty Boop plush stuffed baby doll. I picked this up at a yard sale for $1, and it sold for $15 plus shipping. Net profit was $11.76, and it took 34 days to sell. Now, not that this was a bad pickup. I mean, it took just a little bit over a month to sell, but there were a lot listed. If I could go back, I would not have bought it. It was kind of one of those things that was at this very nice lady's yard sale, and she started just like handing me free stuff for my son. And so I kind of felt like I wanted to buy something from her because she was just giving us these other free things. So I wanted to spend something at her yard sale. So that's why I ended up buying it, but I probably wouldn't buy it again. The next sale date was January 25th, and I had 2 sales. The first one was on eBay. It was this open box TP-Link AV200 Nano Powerline Adapter Starter Kit, model number, you know, whatever. It was $2.69 at my local Goodwill. I know nothing about it. I picked it up because I was just at Goodwill one day, and I was like, I kind of just want to go through the hard goods. It was just kind of when I was just getting into hard goods, and I just wanted to go through, see stuff that looked like it was new in box, that had a barcode I could easily scan, and see if it was worth picking up. So that's what I did with this item. It ended up selling for my full list price of $30, and my net profit was $25.24, and it took 47 days to sell. My second sale that day was this Polartec US Army issue Gen 3 thermal waffle top and bottom size large regular. This is another item that was in my death pile, and I listed it at $35, and the gentleman ended up asking me if I would take $25 for it. I actually didn't even have best offer turned on, but he just messaged me and asked if I would take $25, which I was fine with. I had bought these for my husband and they weren't the right size. I just bought them at a yard sale, so I think I had somewhere between $2 and $4 into them. But I just had them at zero cost of goods since I had bought them for our family. But they took 5 days to sell, and they sold on Facebook Marketplace. My net profit was $23.30. On January 26th, I actually had 5 items going out, which was super exciting. I do not normally have that many items going out in one day. The first item was this pair of new without tags Hawkeye glove manufacturing black sheepskin wool lined US Army issue gloves size 8. These were also in my death pile. These were a personal item from when I was in the Army that I never used. So I listed them for $10, and someone bought them outright on Facebook Marketplace. I had no cost of goods into these. My net profit was $9.16, and they sold in 5 days. The next sale that day was also on Facebook Marketplace. It was this vintage LL Bean flannel lined dark green high-rise pleated front pants size 4. I bought these for 50 cents at a yard sale. They were in my death pile, listed them at $30, and someone on Facebook Marketplace had messaged me, you know, the classic, "Are these still available?" I was like, "Yes, they are." She was like, "Are they available for shipping?" I was like, "Yes, they are." She was like, "Okay, thanks." And I'm like, okay, you know, you get messages like that and you're like, okay, go ahead and offer your $10 for my $30 item. But no, she said, okay, thanks. And then she bought them outright, which was awesome. And she did that within less than 3 hours from when I had listed them. So this was another, you know, 0 days to sell item. My net profit on these was $27.42. If you find flannel lined pants and they're in good condition, I'd pick them up. This is the second pair of flannel lined items I've sold, of a flannel lined pants I've sold. The first ones I sold maybe a year or two ago, and they were flannel lined jeans sold on Mercari, I think like within a day, to someone in Hawaii. And I thought it was a scam because I'm like, who in Hawaii is buying flannel lined pants? But they did, and it wasn't a scam. It was awesome. So flannel lined is definitely something people are looking for. The next 2 items were a bundle sale on eBay. They were 2 new and packaged Smart Bottoms brand one size snap cloth diaper covers. And these were both items that I had bought personally for my daughter, and then we ended up not using them. I think they cost me like $8 a piece originally, and free shipping. It was like a sale day that I bought them online. So I put that my cost of goods was 0 because once again it was a personal purchase. And someone had messaged me and asked if I would take, I think she asked if I would take $20 for both of them, and if I could ship them for the same price as I would ship one, which it doesn't work that way because it's, you know, it's based off weight. So you know, I told her I would refund her whatever the weight difference was, and I asked if she would come up to $24. So she said that was fine, so we did $12 on each diaper cover, and then I refunded her, I think it ended up being like $4 in shipping because they were really, really lightweight. But I ended up making a net profit of $10 and a penny on each one because I broke it down into like individual items, and those took 96 days to sell. My final sale from that day was this Toro leaf blower vacuum debris collection bag shoulder strap size zipper. It was one of those bags you can hook it up to your leaf blower, and I guess it like reverse leaf blows. Leaf sucks. And it sucks up like all the debris and stuff. You can collect it kind of like a grass clippings bag you would put on a lawnmower. I had this listed at $18, and I had $1 into it from a yard sale, and someone offered me $15, so I took that. This sold on eBay, and it was a net profit of $12.59, and it took 13 days to sell. And this one was also in my death pile, in my hard goods death pile, I believe. And this is one of those things that I didn't even like know what it was at a yard sale. It was laying on the ground, and I had to ask the guy. I was like, what is this thing? And he explained it to me. I was like, oh, okay. So I looked it up, and it seemed worth it for $1. At this point, we had another 3-day break with no sales, and then came an amazing sale. Once again, I put this on my Instagram, so if you want to know when something sells quick or when it's a really cool sale or something like that, just go ahead and go over and check out my Instagram, because I'll post it right away there instead of you having to wait for these what sold videos. So this sale was on eBay. It was a pair of Lululemon black pant, second release, roll down waistband in a size 12. I had listed these at $50 and someone bought them outright for $50. Lululemon is something I have not found before. This was the only time I've found it. And I found it, these were in my death pile. So if you watch my death pile videos, you know where these came from. But basically they came from a kids consignment shop and they were in the maternity section because they had a big stretchy waistband. So I don't know if they thought they were maternity or just thought they could work as maternity pants. But either way, I paid $8 for them, and I paid $8 because I was just kind of like, Lululemon, I never find Lululemon. And then I got home and I was like, oh no, should I have paid $8 for these? I don't know. I don't usually pay that much. You know, most of my cost of goods are like $1 from yard sales. But I paid the $8. Luckily, it really paid off. And turns out, no, these are not maternity pants. I don't even think Lululemon makes maternity. These took a long time for me to figure out what they were actually called. Because they're like a capri length, but they were considered a crop pant, and they're called the pant, and there was a second release. So I don't really understand that, but essentially in the first release it did not have like a slit on the leg, and the second release these did. That was the only difference. But so it took me a while to find these exact ones, even though I had the style number. I typed it into Lulu Fanatics and everywhere else and it would not pop up. I eventually just had to do like a Google Lens search on it and just keep searching down the rabbit hole until I found those exact ones that were the same. So my net profit on these was $35.18, and they only took 5 days to sell. My next sale was on January 30th, and this was an auction on eBay. It was a Sony micro cassette recorder M57V with cassette clean. It said not working, parts only. I picked this up for 50 cents at a yard sale, and they said they thought it was working, but it didn't have batteries in it. And for 50 cents, I just took a chance because it looked like it would sell maybe the $20 to $30 range if it did work. And I tried putting batteries in it and, different sets of batteries in case my batteries were wrong or, not good, but it didn't work. I don't think it was like an operator error because, there are only so many buttons to push on there and I'm not an idiot, so I think I pushed all the right buttons, but no lights turned on, nothing spun whether there was a cassette in it or not. So I just put that it was not working, parts only, so maybe somebody else can fix it. And the cassette, I had no idea what was on that cassette. I was kind of curious to find out, and the people we bought it from said they didn't know what was on it either. So could be nothing, but it could have been kind of interesting to find out, but I couldn't play it, so I just sent it along with the micro cassette quarter, and I put it on auction for $1.99 because I had seen some others that had sold for like around the $5 mark on auction, and maybe it would have if I had marked it up at $5, but I didn't, and one person bid on it, so it sold for $1.99. I did make a little bit of money back with the shipping on this item, so my net profit was still $1.95, which, hey, it's not negative. I didn't lose money. And I probably would pick it up again if I knew that it was either working or they weren't sure and it was only like 50 cents, because if it is working, it's worth it. It sold in 11 days because it was an auction, and it was a 10-day auction, but for eBay, I always mark my sale date as the day the person actually pays, not the date that they bought the item. So this is 11 days, it was a 10-day auction, they probably paid the next day. Also, I put that item on auction because since it wasn't working, I really just didn't want to hold on to it and I just wanted to move it along. I don't usually use auctions, but I do that on things like the jewelry from before where I'm like, I have no idea what this is worth. And auctions haven't really worked out that great for me, except for on one item, which was in my last What Sold video. But other than that, they haven't been doing great, but it does get the inventory moved, and it's usually stuff I didn't pay anything for or paid very little for and just don't want it just hanging around forever. And the person who bought that, it looked like it was actually maybe like a business. It wasn't a person's name that it got sent to. So I forget exactly what it was called, but I think it was more of like maybe a business that like could fix something like that. I think it was called like toner or something. I don't know, maybe something with computers or something with electronics. So at this point in the month, I had 30 sales in 30 days, and there was 1 day left of January, and I was really hoping to get one more sale to make that 31 sales in 31 days. And luckily it happened with a little bit of work on my end. So on the 31st, I actually ended up having 2 sales. I got that extra one at the end. But the first one was this vintage Outback Trading Company Wolves Howling at the Moon fleece zip jacket size large. This was in my death pile haul, so if you've been watching those, it was in there. It was a really cool jacket. I mean, it's not like my style, like I wouldn't wear it, but it was just really cool. Now I think a lot of people are into the things that have like wolves and stuff on them. But I picked this item up for 40 cents. I thought it was 50 cents. It's actually 40 cents at a yard sale. And I originally listed it at $50, and someone made me an offer for $40 on eBay. And I talked about this one, I think, on my Instagram as well, but someone had sent me an offer for $35 on Poshmark, and that was like a little bit lower than I was hoping for, because the comps really were closer to like the $50 range. So I was gonna take it because I just wanted to get to that 31 sales in 31 days mark. It just felt like $35 was a little bit too low. But I also didn't want to counter and then lose the sale altogether when I knew I only had 40 cents into it. So what I did is I sent out offers to everybody on all my platforms on this item for $45. And only one person replied that came back on eBay, and they counter offered with 40. So I decided to take that. That's how it ended up at the $40 on eBay. My net profit on that item ended up being $35.26, and it only took 12 days to sell. And like I said, that was in my death pile. So a lot of these quick selling items that were selling in under a month, these were in my death pile. This is why I'm listing my death pile. My last sale of the month of January was this Patra black tiered flutter sleeve dress, size 18, wedding cocktail formal. I sold this on Facebook Marketplace, and I had it listed at $30, I believe, and it sold for $20. I made $18.63. I had no cost of goods into this. This was a family member's that they gave to me, and it took 68 days to sell. So that was everything for the month of January for 2022. I know that was a lot, and I'm going to be making What Sold videos every 2 weeks. We'll start that in February here. We'll do once a week if every 2 weeks still seems like a lot, but honestly, I mean, you know, I only made 32 sales in a month. You know, some people make that in a day or a week, so I don't have that many sales. I'm hoping, obviously, that it ramps up as I keep listing things. I'm hoping I'm selling more, but we'll see. And I really appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you being here. I hope this was helpful in some way. If it was, please click the like button, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't. Like I said, there's going to be more What Sold videos, and I'm still doing my weekly Death to the Death Pile series until that's all done. And I always like to give some kind of little chat in the beginning, something to discuss and something to think about. So if you want to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you'll know when all of my new videos come out, I would love to have you. I will see you in the next one.